Hey, good morning. My name is Pierre Paul, and I'm the founder and CEO of We Hear You LLC. So We Hear You is a company that focuses on inclusivity and accessibility. So we're creating technology that helps individuals with different exceptionalities. For example, our first invention was our American Sign Language translator, which turns American Sign Language into audible speech and then is backwards compatible to turn speech and text back into American Sign Language. And our ability to do this without using complicated glove technology puts us in a lane of our own. And then our second invention is a device that turns all accessible doors into automatic doors with the press of your own personal button. So it's COVID friendly, and it also keeps in mind how individuals with different exceptionalities struggle in a society that's made for more able-bodied individuals. So it kind of gives the scope of what my company's doing. It was unveiled a couple weeks ago. We call it the hands-free door opener, or hands-free for short. And it's just the fact that the company didn't want to just be a one-trick pony. So I had a couple different ideas. So we have a phase 3 and a phase 4, but right now we're focusing on these two. And just put simply, imagine it as a garage door opener, but for accessible doors. So if you are on crutches or in a wheelchair or just a college student moving in, sometimes going up and pressing that button, waiting for it to open, then trying to make it through before the door starts to close again is a bit inconvenient. And so smaller businesses can't afford to have the automatic doors like a place like Walmart or Target. And they also have a specific system that allows the air to circulate so they're not losing any money when hot or cold air escapes. But so our device kind of gives the best of both worlds, also is COVID friendly, and it's just something revolutionary that we haven't seen before. So I guess the inspiration comes from my childhood. I've always been passionate about facilitating change. So when I came to the United States, my family didn't speak English very well. Kids were pretty mean to me for the fact that I had an accent and the fact that I had a different culture. And I remember thinking as a kid how unfair it is that people would be so mean and hateful for things out of your control. So I worked on my public speaking ability so that I can be a voice to individuals who might not be able to verbalize or articulate what they want to. And from there, I've always had a passion for change. So a couple summers ago, I was laying in bed, I couldn't sleep, and I just started thinking about different ways to help society. And when I started doing research, the first thing that I came across was that the deaf community didn't have ways to go through a drive-through or order on their own free will because the majority of society doesn't understand sign language. So I thought about the fact that we have Google Translate for different languages and decided that I wanted to do something similar, but in a different vein for American Sign Language. And then from there, the company was born, and then ideas have kind of just been developing as we progress. So it was a pretty difficult ordeal. So when I got back to Bradley's campus after that summer, I reached out to virtually any professor that had skill or knowledge set in this specific field. And a majority of them were like, this is a great idea, but we can't help you. Like, we don't know how this should be done. So towards the end of it, when I was kind of starting to feel hopeless, I came across two professors in the computer science department, David Brennan and Adam Byerly. And they both had interest, but one was more busy than the other, so they kind of decided to split the time. And they had a set of capstone students who had been looking for a project to work on. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, absolutely. Let me give them this project, we'll work on it together. And then we started working on it, we started advancing, and then COVID hit. And it just kind of stopped a lot of our development. And then those students graduated, and I was kind of up a creek without a paddle. But then from there, I found a new set of individuals, found a new angle for us to go on, and it's just been exponential growth since then. Yeah, so in December of 2020, we launched our first beta version of our ASL translator, which was just doing finger spelling. But a lot of people didn't realize this, but you kind of have to walk before you can run, before you can fly. And a lot of individuals wanted us to be flying, doing full ASL translation from the jump, but we had to start somewhere small. So we released this version that could accept all finger spelling, string them into words, put them into sentences, and then verbalize. And it was pretty fun because we got to make open palm, the space bar, thumbs up, sign for it to verbalize. The side of the hand was backspace. And it was something different just to add to what we were going for. And so it was a fun experience. We got a lot of good feedback. And then from there, now that we've mastered full gesture capability, we've recently taken the product out of the spot so that we can refine it and add in all of the coffee-related words and then put it back. It's an amazing question. So the goal, of course, is to have We Hear You succeed and be able to continue to create accessible technology for the world. We've entered in a plethora of different competitions for a pretty sizable amount of money. So the dream would be to win some of these competitions, fast track our development, and then be able to set up different locations so that I can kind of travel and speak about the matter and also be able to oversee the company with a group of talented, skillful individuals. So the goal is just to keep going up, keep inventing new things, keep changing the world, and hope that we're able to break into this market, the business sector, as much as possible. Yep, so the system is software. So we created software that can be put on virtually any smart device. So in the future, we hope that it can be on any phone, any tablet. Right now it works on specific types of tablets, but it's virtually any device with a camera. We're refining it so that it can work on most all smart devices, but it's going to take a little bit of time. But the goal is to just integrate our software into what businesses already have. So a lot of times they have iPads or Android tablets, and it works on those devices. So we just want to have it as something you could have in your pocket in the near future. So with our ASL translator, the dream is to give it to everybody with every word capability, so that if you want to communicate with an individual who is a part of the deaf or hard of hearing community, you just take out your phone, prop it up, they sign into it, it verbalizes, you speak into it, it signs back, and it's a fluid two-way conversation. So I think the benefits of starting the business in Peoria was the fact that there are so many resources. There are a lot of talented individuals in the Peoria area who are able to not only give advice on the more business side of things, but have a more personal conversation and connect on a different level. So I think that's been beneficial. Additionally, a lot of the small business owners in Peoria are very receptive, love having conversations about different things, and are open to accepting that they might have areas of their business that could be strengthened. So that's made it easy for us as a company to kind of go in, have these conversations, start building these connections, and that's been really nice. It has a strong, smaller business community, not to mention that Peoria has a long history of innovation. Peoria has such a long and rich history of really being a hub, a place where people would come to start businesses and grow businesses. And the fact that Peoria's roots lie there means that that greatness is still in the soil and it can still be tapped into. I would say that I got my bachelor's in political science, I'm getting my master's in nonprofit business leadership, and I'm working on artificial intelligence and convolutional neural networks and a bunch of other words that I can't fully comprehend. But the idea was enough to convince a bunch of smart individuals with different skill sets to gather around me. So what that shows is it doesn't matter what you think is hindering you from accomplishing that dream or starting that business. The only thing that's stopping you is your willingness to try. So you have to be confident in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You'll be able to find some people who believe in you if you have enough conviction and genuinely trust in your process. My perfect day in Peoria would probably be waking up super early in the morning. I know, getting on top of the parking garage at Bradley University, watching the sunrise, then going probably to One World to get some breakfast, then going on a walk, probably watching some Netflix, then going outside and getting some ice cream from the multiple ice cream shops that they have in Peoria, maybe going on a bike ride at one of the parks, going skipping rocks at the Peoria Zoo. They have like a little pond there. I love skipping rocks there.
Oh, nice.
yeah, it'd just be enjoying outside, enjoying what Peoria has to offer, enjoying the beautiful sights.